Kotter, 1975. Cast then and now. How fame changed them forever after 51 years. John Travolta. At just 21, John Travolta stepped into the role of Vinnie Barbarino.
This thing is a stupid idea. I think I should give on.
A charming but dim-witted Brooklyn kid that almost didn't happen. His mother and acting coach warned him bluntly, "Play a dumb kid and you'll be typecast forever." He took the risk anyway, and it changed everything. At the height of Welcome Back, Kotter, the reaction was electric. Live audiences screamed the moment he walked on set. But Travolta was already outgrowing television.
You are so low. You are so low that you could.
While still filming the show, he was simultaneously starring in Carrie, 1976, Saturday Night Fever, 1977, and Grease, 1978. By season 4, he appeared in only 10 episodes, earning about $2,000 per episode, a fraction of his booming film income. Fame didn't just elevate him, it reshaped his entire life.
In other words, making him more authentic.
Behind the success came devastating losses. His partner Diana Hyland died of breast cancer in 1977. His son Jet passed away in 2009 after a seizure, and his wife Kelly Preston died in 2020 following a private cancer battle. Now, in 2026, at 72 years old, Travolta is worth an estimated $250 million.
But I was about to leave with my wife.
And is a certified pilot qualified to fly Boeing 707 and 747 aircraft. The dumb Brooklyn kid made him immortal, but the cost of that immortality was a lifetime marked by both extraordinary fame and unimaginable grief. Gabe Kaplan. At 30, Gabe Kaplan wasn't supposed to be a television star.
Big gambler, right? One night
His first dream, professional baseball, never materialized. Instead, he turned to stand-up comedy, drawing from his own experiences in Brooklyn remedial classes. That raw, personal material became the foundation for Welcome Back, Kotter, a show that felt authentic because it was. But success came with friction. Behind the scenes, Kaplan clashed with executive producer James Comack, caught in a web of manipulation that pitted cast members against each other.
What are you going to do now?
By the final season, the tension had reached a breaking point. Kaplan appeared in just 8 of 23 episodes, effectively stepping away before the show even ended. Then he did something almost unheard of in Hollywood. He walked away completely. No comeback roles, no nostalgia tours, no attempts to reclaim the spotlight. Instead, he reinvented himself again, this time at the poker table.
The way this guy does you. He's very believable.
Over the years, Kaplan became one of the most respected professional poker players, earning over $1.99 million in live tournament winnings and even winning major titles. Now in 2026, at 80 years old with an estimated net worth of $50 million, Kaplan's story stands apart. The man who played a teacher didn't just guide others on screen, he quietly proved in real life that knowing when to leave the game might be the smartest move of all. Lawrence Hilton-Jacobs. At just 22, Lawrence Hilton-Jacobs stepped into the role of Freddie Boom Boom Washington and quietly made history.
Body. This is a body for running.
While others came and went, he remained a constant, appearing in all 95 episodes of Welcome Back, Kotter. No absences, no reduced roles. He was the only Sweathog who never missed a class. On screen, Boom Boom was the smoothest presence in the room, cool, confident, effortlessly likable. Off-screen, Hilton-Jacobs formed a close friendship with John Travolta, with the two often spending time together during the show's peak years.
Actor end up in Hollywood doing that?
Yeah.
Stupidity.
Yet, unlike many of his co-stars, he didn't let the role define or limit him. As the spotlight shifted, Hilton-Jacobs adapted. He expanded into diverse roles, including the landmark miniseries Roots, and later portraying Joe Jackson in The Jacksons: An American Dream. Instead of being trapped by one character, he built a steady, evolving career.
Those years, we hung out real tight. He was around a lot. In the first year,
By 2021, he was still earning recognition, receiving an Emmy nomination, a rare achievement for someone whose breakthrough came nearly 5 decades earlier. Now, in 2026, at 72, he continues to work and stay connected to the craft. In a cast marked by highs, losses, and reinvention, his journey stands out for its consistency. The only Sweathog who never missed a class is also the one who never stopped moving forward. Marcia Strassman. When Marcia Strassman joined Welcome Back, Kotter in 1975, she was just 27 years old and already had valuable television experience.
Do the kids know?
Well, yeah, the kid.
Before landing the role of Julie Kotter, she had appeared as Nurse Margie Cutler on the hit series MASH. The casting process was competitive. 5 actresses tested for the role, including future star Farrah Fawcett. According to production stories from the time, Fawcett was considered too glamorous to convincingly play the wife of comedian Gabe Kaplan's character, and Strassman ultimately won the part.
2007, I was diagnosed with stage 4 metastatic breast.
On screen, Julie Kotter became the emotional center of the series, the calm, supportive presence balancing the chaos of the Sweathogs classroom. Off-screen, however, Strassman later revealed that the experience was far less enjoyable. She spoke openly about tensions behind the scenes and conflicts that made the set difficult at times. Still, audiences remembered Julie as the warm heart of the show, and Strassman's grounded performance helped make the sitcom feel real.
I think it's very important to share.
After the series ended, she found a new generation of fans playing Diane Selinsky in the Disney hit Honey, I Shrunk the Kids and its sequel. In 2007, Strassman received devastating news: advanced breast cancer that had spread to her bones.
Screen Actors Guild. We need to stand up.
Doctors initially estimated she might live 2.5 years, but she defied expectations and lived 7 more years, documenting her journey in her memoir, Life with a Side Order of Cancer. She passed away on October 24, 2014, at age 66, remembered by many as an actress, far too talented to be defined by a single role. Ron Palillo. When Ron Palillo stepped into the role of Arnold Horshack on Welcome Back, Kotter in 1975, he was 26 years old and already a trained stage performer with a background in Shakespeare.
Amazing how fast Mrs. Kotter got her figure back.
But the character he created would become something entirely different, one of the most recognizable comedic figures on television. Horshack's signature wheezing laugh, which audiences instantly associated with the show, came from a deeply personal place. Palillo once explained that the unusual sound was inspired by the labored breathing of his father, who died of lung cancer when Ron was just 10 years old. A childhood memory of loss became the sound that made millions of viewers laugh.
Horseshack, the last of the flying horse.
During the height of the show's popularity, Horshack's enthusiastic hand-raising and unforgettable laugh turned Palillo into a household name. Yet behind the comedy was a more nuanced character. Palillo believed Horshack was actually the most intelligent student in the class, someone who hid his intelligence behind clownish behavior simply to be accepted by others. Unfortunately, that famous persona also followed him long after the show ended.
I mean, the first show we did was a play called The Cock.
Throughout the 1980s, Palillo struggled to escape the shadow of the role, finding it difficult to secure serious acting work. The frustration took a personal toll, and he later spoke about periods of isolation and depression. In 2002, he appeared on the television special Celebrity Boxing, where he lost a widely publicized match to Dustin Diamond. Ron Palillo died on August 14, 2012, at age 63 from a heart attack, just 7 months after fellow cast member Robert Hegyes passed away, marking a somber chapter in the legacy of the Sweathogs. Robert Hegyes. When Robert Hegyes first auditioned for Welcome Back, Kotter in the mid-1970s, he believed he was reading for the role of Vinnie Barbarino. Instead, casting took an unexpected turn, and at 24 years old, he was given a different character entirely: Juan Epstein.
Juan Luis Pedro Felipe de Huevos Epstein.
What seemed like a surprise at the time would become one of the most distinctive roles on the show. Epstein was written as a teenager of mixed Jewish and Puerto Rican heritage, something rarely portrayed on American television in the 1970s. Through humor, street smarts, and a constant hustle, the character quietly reflected the multicultural reality of many New York neighborhoods.
But I'm here. I'm in and out of the streets over at Main Street.
As the series gained popularity, Hegyes became deeply involved in its creative side. By the age of 25, he was already directing episodes of the show, an unusual responsibility for such a young television actor. His portrayal of Epstein made him instantly recognizable, but it also created a lasting challenge. Audiences struggled to separate the actor from the character. After the series ended, Hegyes continued working in television, most notably appearing as Detective Manny Esposito on the crime drama Cagney and Lacey.
Sir Lawrence, Larry Jacobs.
Later in life, he turned toward teaching, sharing his experience with students, studying acting and screenwriting at the university level. Robert Hegyes passed away on January 26, 2012 at the age of 60, after suffering a heart attack. For many viewers, he will always be remembered as Juan Epstein, the quick-talking sweat hog whose identity reflected a changing America. John Sylvester White. When John Sylvester White joined Welcome Back, Kotter, he was already 55 years old, bringing decades of life experience to the role of Vice Principal Michael Woodman. Long before television audiences knew him as the frustrated school administrator, constantly battling the Sweathogs, White had built an early career in 1950s radio dramas. But unlike many actors, his path was not continuous. At one point, he stepped away from performing entirely, spending nearly 18 years working as a salesman before returning to acting later in life. That background gave his performance a sense of authenticity. On screen, Woodman often appeared cynical, an educator who seemed to have lost faith in both the system and the students. Yet behind the sarcasm was a character who provided a grounded counterbalance to the chaos of the classroom. His presence helped give the sitcom a layer of realism and authority that complemented the younger cast. Away from the cameras, White shared a life with his wife Joan Alexander, widely known as the voice of Lois Lane in the classic 1940s Superman radio broadcasts. After the series ended, the couple chose a quieter chapter, retiring to Hawaii, far from Hollywood's spotlight. John Sylvester White became the first main cast member of the show to pass away. He died from pancreatic cancer on September 11, 1988, at the age of 68. The actor who portrayed a man tired of the system ultimately spent his final years in peace, looking out over the Pacific Ocean. Stephen Shortridge. When Stephen Shortridge joined Welcome Back, Kotter during its fourth and final season, the series was already facing a difficult transition. By that point, the explosive movie success of John Travolta had pulled the show's biggest star toward Hollywood, leaving producers searching for a way to fill the sudden gap.
Expect 110%. From yourself,
Shortridge was cast as Beau de la Barre, a smooth-talking transfer student from New Orleans who would join the Sweathogs. Importantly, the writers did not attempt to create a direct replacement for Barbarino. Instead, Beau was designed as a completely different personality, more laid back with a southern charm and a habit of delivering strange bits of folk wisdom. Lines like, "A real man never steps on a pregnant alligator," were meant to give the character a quirky identity of his own.
Book for people who know God, but a lot of people don't want.
Despite the effort, audiences who had grown attached to the original group struggled to connect with the newcomer. The challenge Shortridge faced was almost impossible, stepping into a beloved ensemble at the moment its chemistry was already changing. Being introduced as a late addition to replace a breakout star placed enormous expectations on a young actor who had little time to establish himself with viewers. After the show ended in 1979, Stephen Shortridge gradually stepped away from mainstream television and film. Unlike several of his castmates, he chose a quieter path outside the spotlight, eventually focusing on other creative pursuits, including art and writing. Today, his brief time on the show remains a reminder of how difficult it can be to replace a character audiences have already embraced. 51 years after Welcome Back, Kotter first introduced America to a classroom full of misfits. The story of its cast feels far bigger than a sitcom. It launched the superstardom of John Travolta, gave unforgettable identities to actors like Ron Palillo and Robert Hegyes, and left behind a legacy that still lives in television history. Some cast members found new paths, others carried those characters for life, and several are gone now. So, for everyone watching legendary TV memories, here's the real question: was Welcome Back Kotter a stepping stone to fame, or a role so powerful that none of them ever truly escaped it.